Agent Romanoff. You miss me?
Oh yeah, Charles, we got ourselves an X-Men fan.
Captain.
Your Highness.
Captain, big fan, Spider-Man. Hey everyone.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Film Artsy. I'm your guy, Troy Baker, and today we're gonna be taking our favorite MCU villain, Mr. Loki himself. Well, it might not be your favorite, but he's pretty darn good. The undying villain, Mr. Loki himself, and going through his top 10 moments in the MCU. Now, this is obviously my opinion, and this is really just a summation of things that I think are really memorable about Loki, really notable moments during the MCU, and just lines and sequences that Tom Hiddleston delivers such impactful performance that it's just worth saying. Now, don't get me wrong, there's plenty of these scenes out there, and there's things that I really like, so if I didn't include something that you think should have been in there, tell me in the comments. Just put it below, and I probably won't ever do anything about it, but I'll say, hey, I like that scene too. So, without further ado, let's get to number 10. Number 10. Number 10 is just, you can't have a top 10 list without noting the first time we have Mr. Loki, the god of mischief, stating his purpose. Yes, you know the word, glorious purpose. That's right, when Loki arrives on Earth with the scepter with the Mind Stone in it to receive the Tesseract, or through the Tesseract, he comes through the Tesseract, and he gets his bunch of goons together. He tells Nick Fury that I'm here with glorious purpose, and that's just a phrase we hear literally all the time with him. So how can you not put that in the top 10? Glorious purpose! Glorious purpose! That's what makes actually Loki series so interesting, because he realizes that his glorious purpose seems to always be losing. So, glorious purpose! Purpose! Number 9. I really like this scene in the Loki series, and it's found in episode 1. Now, full disclosure, there is probably going to be a good Loki scene that has not been revealed in the Loki series yet. So if you're watching this post the Loki series, cut me some slack. We got to make content here, okay? This scene in the first episode, I thought really encapsulated all the things that he is struggling through, from getting taken from his time variant timeline, right? The TVA picks him up, and he's just realizing that his life is not filled with glorious purpose, but in fact a lot of loss. And in the end, he dies, and it doesn't ever accomplish what he thought he wanted to accomplish. And in the mix of that, he escapes at the TVA, and he threatens Mr. Casey that got him like a fish, which Casey's like, I don't know what a fish is. But he looks, and then in the drawer, there's Infinity Stones. He's like, what? And the Tom Hiddleston's acting from this point all the way to his stepping out into the TVA main room and looking at the screen is just spot on. Because his realization that his pursuit of the Infinity Stones that are supposed to be the greatest power in the universe is all in vain. And he looks up and he says,
Is this the greatest power in the universe?
And in that moment, he just feels so small. Tom Hiddleston just delivers that beautifully. And so that's why it's my number 9. Number 8. Number 8 is Mr. Loki is a strategist, baby. And let's just talk about how smart this idea was. So Loki doesn't have any real relationship with 𝘍𝘍, his dad, right? His dad left him to die. That's what we find out from Odin, right? His birthright was to die. But Loki comes back and acts like, hey, 𝘍𝘍, we cool now, yo, and we're so cool. Like, I'm gonna help you, like, get into Asgard, and it's gonna be super awesome. And 𝘍𝘍's like, that's great, I'm so glad he's helping me, only to discover that Loki brought him there for the sole purpose to double-cross him and straight up kill him. And in killing 𝘍𝘍, made him look like he was the good guy and should be the king of Asgard. Good on you, Loki. That's some straight up strats, yo. Like, that is some straight up strats. Number 7. Number 7 is, once again, we see Loki's a pretty cunning dude. Like, he has some real legit ideas. And although I guess this would have been figured out eventually whenever Thor got back, but in Thor 2, he totally fakes his death. And not only does he fake his death, that when Thor is away on his little Infinity Stone journey, or wherever he goes, I don't even know what happens to Thor, but he's away. He switches places with Odin and becomes Odin. And so we have this really funny opening scene to Ragnarok where Odin's kind of Loki and Anthony Hopkins kills it to act like Loki. And Thor's like, hey, wait a second, Loki, you totally are not, A, you're alive, but B, you replaced our dad, where is he? And that leads to the adventure of Ragnarok. It's just a really cunning Loki moment. Like, yeah, I faked my death so I could replace Odin, so I put him in like a home. That's number 7. Number 6. There's not a better time moment than when Loki arrives with reinforcements to help Thor in his battle against the goddess of death, right? It's a warming moment because all this time Thor's expressing to Loki that he wished he could trust him, but he's realizing that at the end of the day, you're you and I'm me, and that's just the way it is. And at this ending scene, I think there's a moment where he realizes that Loki isn't just the way he is, but actually he's quite developed, so much so that he's helping Thor at the end to fight their sister. So, really cool moment. Just really cool Loki development character moment. Number 5. I feel like I just keep realizing as I make this list that Loki is really like a competent villain. Okay, he replaced Odin like twice, by the way. He replaced him between Thor 2 and 3, and then he replaced him by double-crossing Laufey, right? And then, even further so, he breaks the Avengers. In Avengers 1, he basically gets them to their lowest point. Now, granted, in doing so, he brought them together even stronger than ever, but Loki breaks the Avengers. He, through his tactics and means, gets the Avengers to fight each other with the Mind Scepter at play. Of course, there's Infinity Stone at play, and it's impressive. Not many people do. Who else broke the Avengers? Not Ultron. Not even really Thanos. Now, he snapped half of the life out of existence, so that's still a big deal, but Loki broke them by their spirit. Formidable foe, Loki is. Number 4. Number 4 is from the episode 3 that I slammed on YouTube, and everyone's still like giving me thumbs down on that video, but it's still filler episode. Still filler. But episode 3, Loki did give us one of my favorite moments of Loki. It's actually him seeing silky Asgardian to Sylvie. Oh, Loki, stop it. You're gonna make me blush. He's in tune with his Asgardian heritage, and like there's emotion there, and it's very powerful, and he's also a little bit of a romantic, and he's looking at Sylvie, and I don't know exactly what he's saying, but man, it got me in the feels, Loki. That song just lulling my soul to sweet joy. Anywho, yeah, it's a cool scene. I liked it.
Before we continue our video, I just want to let you guys know that we have a really cool Instagram that updates on a regular basis. So if you like all things Marvel, this is the Instagram for you. So go follow that filmartsy Instagram right now. You won't regret it. I promise you. Seriously, open Instagram right now and click that follow button. Now back to the video.
Number 3. Number 3 actually takes place in the worst Thor movie, which is Thor: The Dark World. It's not a good movie. It's the Dark Elf's boring, the story clunky, everything's just really confusing, and it's sad because it's actually one of the best Loki performances we have is in Thor 2. So it's just a mix of feelings because it's not a good movie, but Loki's very good in it. And so much so that he gives us that scene. Thor accuses Loki of also not being there for their mother because Thor was not able to save her and getting stabbed by the Dark Elves. And Thor asks him, hey, where were you? You were in a cell. And Loki, you can tell that this is once again, it taps into the emotions and deep feelings he has for his mother. He looks at Thor and says,
we let her die?
What help were you in your cell?
Who put me there? Who put me there?
And this is just Tom Hiddleston using his incredible actor, and he uses this skill to just bring you in and say he loves his mother. And it kills him. It hurts him. You see it even in the Loki series that his mother is gone and he was powerless to do anything about it. It's a great scene. It's a great sequence, and it really makes you feel. Number 2. Number 2, I've watched this scene probably I've watched this scene so many times. I've made so many Loki videos. I love Marvel, and this scene is between Odin and Loki as they talk about where his origin is from. And there's just this moment where he's asking Odin to be completely truthful, and he yells at him, "Tell me!" And Odin starts telling the tale of his origin. Loki talks about his birthright. It's just the exchange between Odin and Loki is so well done. It's one of my favorite scenes. It's in the very first Thor movie, and I really felt like it just put Tom Hiddleston on the map of like, man, he could convey the emotion of this situation of being an adopted god under Odin from the 𝘍𝘪𝘭𝘮 evil ice giant people. It's just good. I just love when they can convey emotion like that, and Tom Hiddleston does it well consistently. Number one is the capstone to the development of Loki. All his life, he was trying to find this glorious purpose because he believes he deserves to be a king. And actually, through his development phase, he changes and chooses to help Thor and the Avengers at the very end by trying to kill Thanos and sacrificing his life and dying to Thanos at the end. It's a sad death because I do feel like he has more to offer, and that's kind of where I hope the Loki series is going, is a way for Loki to be again in the MCU, but he sacrificed himself. And in the end, he even says, he's like, I, Loki, son of Odin. And that moment, you know, he's good. And yeah. And you guys, thank you so much for watching this video. What is your favorite Loki moment? There's so many of them, and I know there's more to come, and I hope they keep coming because we love Tom Hiddleston and we love Loki. So if you got that moment, drop it in the comments below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Help us out here, and we're trying to give you this content on the daily. And as always, guys, until next time, see you later.